Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET Core with Razor Pages how to implement the CRUD functionality, create, read, update and delete operations with file upload controller. Choose file. I'm adding the image. The image is such JPG file. Click upload. So here we got the results. The image name is the search.jpg. Here is the image. Let's check in the project folder. I'm expanding the images folder. See here we got the search.jpg. And in the database table, let's execute this query. See here the search.jpg and the image path. The ID is the 2. The image ID 1 which we have deleted earlier. Let's get the details of this image. Click details. Here we got the details page, the image name and details. Back to list. Let's edit. Choose file. This time I'm selecting the image. Is execute app iPhone logo. I'm selecting that one. Click open. Upload. So the new image is updated successfully. Let's check in our project folder. I'm expanding the images folder. See here the execute app logo.jpg is updated. Let's check in the database table. Right now in this table we have search.jpg, but when I execute, so the image ID is 2. I have updated with the new image execute app logo.jpg, and this is the path of that image. Now let's delete this image. Delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, delete. See, the table is empty now. Now let's check. See here the images folder is empty, and in the table, let's execute this table. See, query executed successfully, which contains 0 rows. That's it. We have implemented the CRUD functionality, create, read, update, delete details with Razor Pages in ASP.NET Core. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before implementing the CRUD operation on Razor Pages in ASP.NET Core, first we'll create a new table in SQL Server Management Studio. I'm expanding the root folders as well as the databases. In the databases, notice there is a EMP database. I want to create a new table in this database. First let me expand this database as well as the tables folder of this database. Now select the EMP database, right click the mouse, click new query. So let's write the query to create a table. Create table image save is my table name. Let's add some columns to this table. Image ID integer type. I'm adding not null, primary key, and I'm adding the identity. After that, image name and varchar 150, image path, and varchar is maximum size of this column. And notice here in the image path, I want to store only the path of the image, but the actual image I want to store in the project root folder. So let's execute to create this table, and here we got a message command completed successfully. So let's refresh this tables folder. Refresh. and here we got the image save table is added successfully. Let's browse the table, right click the table name, select top 1000 rows, and here we got the results of this table image save. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's implement the CRUD functionality to store the image details using ASP.NET Core with Razor Pages. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new ASP.NET Core web application. Go to File, New, Project, and from the projects I am selecting the option ASP.NET Core web application. Click Next. Let's give the project name Razor Pages CRUD with file upload control. This is my project name, and I'm saving this project in the D drive in the project folder. Click Create. And after that, let's select the template. I'm selecting the web application template with the Razor Pages contents, and I'm using the .NET Core, ASP.NET Core 3.0. The version is. Click Create. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. After that, let's open Solution Explorer. Now first in this project I am adding a models folder to add the classes. Right click the project name, add, I'm selecting new folder. Let's give the folder name is models, and let's add a class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class. And here, very important, the class name must be the table name. Here in our database, our table name is the image save. Let's copy that one and add to our class name. Then click Add. And here we got our image save class is added to our project in the models folder. Now after that, let's add the package using system.componentModel.DataAnnotations. Then in the class, let's add the key method, then add the properties. In this class, I'm just defining the definition, the properties only. Properties, double tab, and the first property is the integer type, and the property name is, I'm adding my column name. Here in our table we have 3 columns, image ID. So let's copy that one, image ID, and paste here. Prop, double tap, and the second column name is a string type. So I require the property type is a string, and the property name is image name. Just copy that one and add out to our property name. And the last one is also a string type, and the column name is the image path, and add that image path to our property name in the image save class. So after adding the properties into this class, the next step will add the ADO.NET CRUD functionality. Open Solution Explorer. In this pages folder, I am adding the ADO.NET Entity Framework. But before adding the ADO.NET Entity Framework to our project, first I want to show in the app settings.json file. Let's open that one. If you notice in this JSON file, there is no any connection string. And also open Solution Explorer, the startup.cs file, open that file also. Now in the startup.cs file, if you notice in this configure services method, we have only the service called add razor pages. but when I install the ADO.NET Entity Framework to our project, some services added to our project with the connection string automatically to our project. So let's add the ADO.NET Entity Framework. Highlight the pages folder, right click the mouse, add, select the razor page. If you notice in this razor page, the last one is the razor pages using Entity Framework CRUD, which is a create, delete, details, edit and list options. Add. And after that, I'm selecting our class name. The model class name is the image save. Let's add that one, image save, and the data context class. Click plus. I'm adding the new data type context, which is the image. The project name, the folder name, and the image context, the class name. Click add. After that, click add button, and here we got some small warning here. The following file already exists: the index and index.cshtml.cs files. These razor pages are the default web razor pages. When we create a project, it's automatically added to our pages folder. So I want to replace them. Click as. The index, delete, details, edit and create razor pages are added automatically to our project. If you notice in the Solution Explorer, when I expand the pages folder, see here we got all the razor pages. And before adding the ADO.NET, I have showed the app settings.json file. Before we don't have any connection strings. Now we got the connection string, and as well as here in the startup.cs file, see here the services add db context, our db context and our connection string name, both are added automatically. But I'm not changing anything in this startup.cs file, but in app settings.json file, if you notice the connection data source, which is the default one. So let's make the connection string the data source is the right data source. So here the server is equals to MySQL server, the name is the user PC SQL Express. Let's add that one, user PC double backward slash. Make sure add the double backward slash SQL Express, and here the database is, this is a default database name. Delete that one. Our database name is EMP. Just copy this one. This is the EMP database. We have created the table in this database. So let's add that database name here. That's it. Now in the index.cshtml, and if you notice in the page model, the index model, the code is to display the images from the database, from the image save table. And in the design page, we have the create new link and edit details and delete. What I'm doing, I'm deleting this create link. Instead of this create new link, I'm adding the file upload controller. So I don't want to redirect to create razor page to upload the files. Here I'm adding, let's add the form tag, form method is equals to post and encpy multipart form data, and I'm closing this form tag after the table. Now between these p tags I'm adding the file upload controller input type is equals to file, input type is equals to file. After that, I am adding the simple button control, submit button control, input type is equals to submit, and the value of the button control is upload. That's it. Now switch to the page model of the index razor page. I want to store the images in our project folder and image details like image name and image path in the database table. So when we want to add the images, I require some more packages here using Microsoft dot ASP.NET Code dot HTTP, and the next package I require the using Microsoft dot ASP.NET Code dot hosting package. Then the last one we require the I1 namespace using system.I1 namespace. After adding these three namespaces, and next let's add the interface private read only. The interface I required iWeb host environment. When we are dealing with the files, we require this interface iWeb host environment, iWeb semicolon. Then in the constructor I am adding this interface, which is the second parameter. Delete this underscore iWeb is equals to iWeb. After that, this public async task on getAsync method to display the records from the database. Now I require the post async method, which is we are posting the data. So public async task. In this task I am adding the iAction result on post async. Now in this on post async method I am adding iForm file. iForm file is an interface upload files, and the next parameter I am adding our class name. Our class name is a image sim, which contains our properties. img is the object name. Now in this post method I am adding if not model state dot is valid. If the model state is not valid, then return page. Here is the method string image extension is equals to path dot get extension method. Get extension method takes the string path. The path we are getting from the file name, so upload files. The file name we are getting from this object upload files dot file name semicolon. After that, my next condition is I want to save only the image types JPG or GIF image types only. If image extension double equals to between double quotes dot JPG double pi image extension is equals to dot gif. I want to save only these two types only, dot jpg or dot gif. Here is the double equals to. Once the image type is jpg or gif, I want to save that images into our project folder. Variable image save is equals to path.combine method. In this combine method, the combine method takes parameters. The first parameter I am adding underscore iweb. The iweb is an object of iweb host environment. I am adding this object name dot web root path. The web root path is nothing but our project root folder, www root folder, comma, and the next parameter is also string. I'm adding the images, the folder name. Let's copy this one, add the folder to this root folder, add new folder, images folder. I am creating a new folder, images folder, into this root folder. Then we require the image file name. That image file name we are getting from this upload files object. Upload files dot file name. Variable stream is equals to new file stream. New file stream. The file stream takes two parameters. The first one is the handle. The handle we are getting from the image save. Let's copy this one, image save, paste here, comma, and file mode dot create semicolon. Await upload files. This object name dot copy to async method, and this copy to async method takes the parameter is a string, this variable. After that, let's close the stream dot close method. So up to now we have just saving the image into our project root folder in the images folder. Now I want to save the image details like image name and image path. I want to store in our database table. So here I'm adding img dot. Img is an object of this image save class object. If you notice, here we are getting the properties. The first one, I'm adding the image name is equals to the image name we are getting from the upload files. Upload file dot file name semicolon, and the next one, the path, image path. The image path we are getting from this variable image save. Then await underscore, I'm adding context. This context is the image context object dot, our table name is the save image save is our table name dot add async method. In this add async method, I'm adding this object img. Copy this one and paste here. Once we add, we need to save changes. Await underscore context dot save changes as async. Then return redirect to page between double quotes dot forward slash. I'm adding index. Once the record is inserted successfully, I want to redirect to the index page only, the same view page only. That's it. We have done the coding part in this page model, index page model. Now switch to the razor page. Here I want to display the image name and image only, not the image path. So let's change the heading the image, and here I'm adding the image source is equals to, notice here we got here folder images, then I'm adding at item dot the image name. Remember here we require the image name, the images path and the image name we require. And then the height of the image I'm adding 100, and width I'm adding 80. Let's add the alt tag also, at item dot image name. Now I don't require this display for, and here we forgot to add the property name is equals to, switch to the page model, we need to add these upload files because we are selecting the files from this iForm file object. So let's add that object name here, and in the input class is equals to button primary. I have added the bootstrap classes for this button control. That's it. We have written the code in this index razor page to upload the new records and display the records from the database. Let's check the output. Browse with. I'm selecting the browser Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. And here we got the output of that project. Notice here the file upload controller and the button controller. Below that we have the table which contains two columns, image name and image. Right now in this table contains 0 rows. If you check in the database, see here, execute, and the command executed successfully. If you notice, right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's insert the new image details, choose file, I'm selecting the image from my desktop. Let's select the Chetrika software technology, which is a JPEG. Click open. Now before upload the file, let's check in our project folder also in the Solution Explorer. Notice the images folder is empty. Let's insert the image in this folder and the image name and path in SQL Server database. Click upload. See, here we got the results of the table, the image name and the image. After that we got the hreflinks, edit, details and delete. Now let's check in our data project. When I expand the images folder, see here the Chetrika software technology, the image is added. In our database, I'm executing the table again. See here we got the image details. The image ID is one, which is the auto generate column, the image name and image path. Now our next condition, we'll see the details. First let's adjust the size of the image. The width is 80. Instead of 80, I'm adding 120. And let's give some meaningful name for this project. Index. Instead of index, I'm changing the header. CRUD Create, read, update, details, and delete with razor pages. ASP.NET Core 3.0 tutorials. After the headings, I'm adding the horizontal line. Now we require the details. So here the details. If you check the page model of the details, I'm not changing any code here, but I'm changing the razor page. Instead of display image path, I copy this one. Let's add the image source is equals to images. I'm pasting this at HTML display file. Now I don't require this one. I'm deleting this part. Let's add the height and width. Height is equals to I'm adding 100, and width is equals to 120. Let's add the alter. Copy this one and paste here. Let's close the image tag. That's it. I'm not changing anything, just I have added the image element. Let's save this file. We'll check the output again. Right, browse with. I'm selecting the browser Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. And here we got a new output after adding the headers in the index razor page. Now we require the details of this image. Click details. Oops, something went wrong. Here is not the image path. Here we require the image name. Sorry for that. Image name. Copy this one and paste here. Let's save this file. I will check the output. Browse with. I'm selecting the Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. Now let's get the details of this image. Click details. See, now we got the image here. Before we got the image path, let's reload this page also. The image here. Back to list. Now we require the edit and delete functionality. Let's do that. Switch to the edit page model. Now in this edit page model, what I'm doing, I'm adding the packages. Index.cs HTML page model. Go to top, just copy this one. Instead of writing the same code, I'm just copying here. And here also I require this iWeb host environment. Copy that one. I'm pasting in the edit page model. And we require the iWeb host environment, the page model, iWeb underscore iWeb is equals to iWeb. Now here in the onGetAsync method, I'm not changing any code. but in on post async method, before edit the details, first I want to delete the old image from the page from the project folder, then I will edit the details, new details. And on post async, what I'm doing, I require this same code here, these ones. Just copy this one, the edit CSS/HTML, paste here, and I require the file name also, the image file name, fname, and integer type $ID. The image ID also required when I want to edit the image. Here I don't require the question mark. In the try block, now here in the try block, first I want to get that image details with the image ID. So let's declare the variable image ID is equals to await underscore context dot, the table name is a save image save, the table name dot find async method. In this find async method, I am adding the ID, semicolon. This variable I am adding here. Once we got the image, I want to remove that image from the folder. Underscore context dot, my table name is the image save dot remove method. In this remove method, I am adding the image ID. After that we'll remove the image from the folder. Fname is equals to path dot combine method. This path dot combine method takes the string parameters. The first one is underscore iWeb, which is the object of the iWeb host environment, dot web root path is a root folder, dot comma between double quotes I am adding the folder name, which is the images, and the last parameter is a file name. The file name we are getting from this image ID. Let's add that one, image ID dot file name, image name. Then file info class, file info, fi is equals to new file info, this file info I am adding fname. If fi dot exists property, let's delete that one, system dot io dot file dot delete method. In this delete method I am adding the fname, the file name, then fi dot delete method. So once we delete the file from the folder, now I want to edit the new details. So here, instead of writing the same code, what I'm doing, in the index.cshtml we already have this code. Just copy this part, copy this one. In the edit page model, let's add this one. Delete this thing which we already have. Here I required image dot image ID is equals to, I am adding this ID, semicolon. And here it's not add async, we are updating the data. So underscore context dot update method. In this update method I am adding img, our class name, image class name object here. This if condition. Now we need to change in the edit eraser page. Here notice here we are displaying the image path. Instead of image path I want to display the image. So here instead of adding the element we already have in the details page model, let's copy this one and paste here in the edit eraser page, and I make this image name is read only, and we require the file upload control and button control. So here in the post I'm adding density multi-platform data between p tags. Now between these p tags I'm adding this file upload and button control element. Switch to the edit.cshtml eraser page, add this one, and make sure the name of the input type file is iform file, must be the iform file object name, which is our upload files. And I don't require this button control. The save, delete that one. Let's check the output. Browse with. I'm selecting the browser Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. So now let's edit the details. Edit. So here we redirect to the edit eraser page. The ID is equals to 1, the image ID. Below that we have the file upload controller and button controller. The image name is read only, we have added the property below that, and we got the image also. Let's update the new image, choose file, I'm adding the execute app iPhone logo, which is a JPEG file. Click open. Let's update, upload, see here we got a new image is added, execute, see here in the images folder the new image is added, and in the now go to delete page model. In the delete page model I'm adding the namespaces. I just require these packages, these three: delete page model, then I require the private read only iWeb host environment underscore iWeb. Let's add this interface in this constructor, comma constructor. I don't require this underscore here. Underscore iWeb is equals to iWeb, semicolon. Now if you notice here in the delete model we have two methods, onGetAsync and onPostAsync method. I'm not changing anything in this onGetAsync method, but in onPost I'm adding the another property string fname. We require the image name, and here underscore context dot my table name image save dot remove method. In this remove method I'm adding image save. And after that switch to the edit model. I require this code, copy this one and add to the delete model. This one is not the image ID. You need to add this image save dot image name. That's it. We have written the code to delete the image details from the database table and image from the project folder. Now switch to the delete razor page. Here notice here we are getting the image path, but we require the image, so delete this one. Instead of we already have in this details page model, just copy this one, paste here. That's it. This is the, let's change the header, delete page. Let's check the final output. Browse with, I'm saving the browser Google. I'm selecting the default browser Google Chrome, set as default, click browse. Now let's delete the record. Delete. And here we redirect to the delete razor page. ID is equals to 1, which is the image ID. Let's delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? Delete. See? The record has been deleted successfully from the table. Let's check in our project folder and open Solution Explorer. Notice the images folder is empty, and in the database table, let's execute the table again. See, the query executed successfully. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's add the new record. Choose file. I'm adding the image. The image is such JPG file. Click upload. So here we got the results. The image name is the search.jpg. Here is the image. Let's check in the project folder. I'm expanding the images folder. See here we got the search.jpg, and in the database table, let's execute this query. See here the search.jpg and the image path. The ID is a 2. The image ID 1, which we have deleted earlier. Let's get the details of this image. Click details. Here we got the details page, the image name and details. Back to list. Let's edit. Choose file. This time I'm selecting the image. Is execute app iPhone logo. I'm selecting that one. Click open. Upload. So the new image is updated successfully. Let's check in our project folder. I'm expanding the images folder. See here the execute app logo.jpg is updated. Now check in the database table. Right now in this table we have search.jpg, but when I execute, so the image ID is 2, I have updated with the new image execute app-logo.jpg, and this is the path of that image. Now let's delete this image. Delete. Are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, delete. See, the table is empty now. Now let's check. See here the images folder is empty, and in the table, let's execute this table. See, query executed successfully, which contains 0 rows. That's it. We have implemented the CRUD functionality create, read, update, delete details with razor pages in ASP.NET Core.